Right, so this is going to hopefully get us caught up a little bit on project 5. I am going to try to do the first 5 steps in this video. I get cut off after a certain amount of time, so that's why I do these in parts. In project 5, this is the first time we're referencing stuff outside of the worksheet that we're actually editing. So we start off by doing this 3D reference. So basically we have one main worksheet here that's giving us our annual sales, and then we have the quarters for that particular year of 2021. And these all have individual values for the different quarters of that year. And we want to total them all up in one worksheet to make it easier to work with. So this is actually really easy to do. We're doing a sum function per the instructions. So we're going to do sum, and then I'm going to open my parentheses. And then I'm doing batteries and chargers. All of those values are located in cell B5. So when this workbook was created, it was created well because all of the values we want to sum here have the same cell number, cell location in their different worksheets. So all you have to do once you've put in equals sum, open parentheses, is go to the next worksheet and click on the cell that you want to add into that argument there. The next part is probably the most important, or maybe not the most important, it's confusing. In order to get to the next argument, number 2, what you have to do is type a comma. That tells Excel you're moving on to the next argument. If you don't do that, it won't actually recognize that you're putting that number in there. So now that I've added my comma, I can go in there and go, oh, well, the next argument I want, or the next value I want to add is from quarter 2. Again, I put in a comma, I go to quarter 3, click on that. I'm actually double clicking in my Mac. And then I need one more quarter, so comma, quarter 4. This time I'm not going to use a comma because there's no more arguments. I'm just going to use my close parentheses. At this point now I have my formula. That's my sum formula. The formula is going to add all of those values. I'm going to click my green check mark. It goes back to my original worksheet, my top worksheet, annual sales, and everything for batteries and chargers has been added together in that cell. If I want to do the same thing for the other accessories listed, I grab my fill handle, I pull that down until I reach the wireless speakers cell, and it totals everything, and cell B10 already has a formula further totaling those amounts to show us the total amount of annual sales and accessories. So pretty straightforward. So that's step 1. That's all you're doing. It looks like a really long step, but it's a really pretty simple once you actually get going on it. Step 2 can be a little bit more complicated. What we're doing now is we're actually referencing an entirely different file, an entirely different workbook. So you need to have both of these open. When you downloaded the project materials from Cengage, you should have downloaded this Excel file, the instructions file, and then a support file that looks like this. You need to have them both open in order for this to work. So in step 2, it says I'm working in cell B12. So I am clicking on cell B12 in here, and I want to get this number, B10, from the support values to show up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to type an equal sign, and then I'm going to go over to my other workbook, and I'm going to double click that cell. Notice that it now has its little moving dashed line around it, and over here in that cell, the formula bar says support, that's the file name, and an absolute cell reference for B10, and that's what I want. So I'm going to click my little green check mark, and notice now that the number in that cell is identical to the number in B10 in your support workbook. So it can be a little confusing. Again, I'm using a Mac, so you may find some slight differences based on the technology that you're using, but that is how my version of Excel on my Mac is doing that. Okay, so the next one is we want to make some edits to all 5 worksheets, annual sales through quarter 4. We could make those things individually, but that's really annoying if you're going to make the same changes to every single worksheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to group the worksheets. And I can't quite show you what I'm doing here, unfortunately, because what I'm doing is on my keyboard, you'll see my mouse moving, but what I'm doing on my keyboard is I'm holding down the Shift key. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to click on each tab that I want to group with annual sales. So now they're all white. So we've got annual sales, which is the top sheet. The lettering is green, so I can see that's the active worksheet. But I've grouped these other worksheets so that whatever I now do in annual sales is going to get done in those other 4 sheets as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to F1, which is right here, and I am going to use a formula using the today function to display today's date. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go equal today, and I'm going to open my parentheses. Notice that in the little prompt that it gives me, the today function has no arguments. So all I do is close those parentheses, hit return, or check the green check mark, and it will tell me that today is July 11th, 2022. Now what I should be able to see is if I click over onto, say, quarter 1, I should see the same thing there. It should be displaying the date, and I should be able to see in the formula bar that the formula, the today function is selected for that cell. And it should be on all of the other ones as well, which it is. So that's the cool thing about grouping, is you don't have to go and insert the formula multiple times. Okay, so we did that, and we're going to go to step 4. Step 4 says in the range D5 to D9 on all 5 worksheets, so we've still got everything grouped. We want to project next year's sales for each accessory rounded up to 0 decimal places so the values are easier to remember. So we're going to use the roundup function, and that's not weed killer, sorry, bad joke, to basically to do some math, get Excel to do some math with us, math for us, but also round up the result. So I'm going to put in equal round up. Okay, that's my beginning. I'm going to open my parentheses. And then it says, okay, the first argument is the number that you want to put in there. Now I could just enter a number, but what I'm actually going to do is enter a formula that takes the sales for the batteries, cell B5, and adds it to those same cells multiplied by the percent increase, which is the next cell. So we are going to do B5 plus B5 times, remember that's our asterisk, B6. That's going to give us this year's values, sorry, not B6, C5. Helps if I actually notice the cell name, C5. And the way I caught that was I saw this one was highlighted and I was like, oops, I shouldn't be doing that. I want this one. I'm doing this value plus this value times this value. That's how you would get your projected profit for the next year. So now I'm going to hit a comma, and what I've done now is I've just created my little formula that says, okay, I want to put this number in this cell, but then it says I want this number of digits after the decimal place. So the next argument that I'm going to put in is a 0. I'm going to close my parentheses. I'm going to exit out of that. And it's going to tell me, oh, okay, yeah, next year you're going to probably sell $125,124 worth of batteries and chargers. So again, that's pretty straightforward. The biggest thing that you have to remember is how to create these formulas, right? You have to know, oh, I'm adding B5 to B5 times C5, and that's how you're getting that value. The rounding up is just simply saying instead of having the cents on here like we do in the 2021 sales, it's rounding it up to just a dollar amount. The fact that it has numbers after the decimal, don't worry about that. You just want it to round it up to the next whole dollar. It can still display the values after the decimal point. Then we want to fill, so hopefully you're becoming masters of that. So now I know my projected 2022 sales for all of those values. And remember, we still have our worksheets grouped. So we should be able to go to quarter 1 and see that the same things happened. And quarter 4 and all of the quarters in between should now have those projected 2022 sales amounts in them. Okay, so that's the end of step 4. We're now going to go to step 5. Step 5, we're going to ungroup the worksheet. So I'm going to go back to my annual sales worksheet. If we want to ungroup, so what I'm doing on my Mac is I'm doing my double finger tap on the pad. If you're on a a PC, you're going to want to right click. And down at the very bottom of this menu that pops up is ungroup sheets. I'm going to click that and notice all of these become grayed out again. Only annual sales is active. None of these others will get anything that we do in this worksheet. It's important to remember to do that if you've been working with group sheets, because otherwise you're going to end up with stuff maybe where you don't want it in the workbook. Okay, last thing we're going to do in this video is we are going to go and we're going to go to F5, which is over here. So F5. Sorry, F5 is the title. So that's telling us this quarter one. One of the cool things that Excel can do is if you have a title like this, you can actually drag your fill handle. And that's what we're trying to do in this particular thing. Except I just messed something up. So let me hit my undo button. That's my friend. Grab that fill handle, drag it to the end of the line, and it's going to fill every single cell with the next quarter. And that's pretty nice because it just means I don't have to type in quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Okay, so that's where we're going to stop for this video.